Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito is responding this morning to a report in the New York Times that in 2021, he had an American flag hanging upside down outside of his home. So according to the report, this was the photo taken on January 17th, 2021. The upside down flag was a symbol associated with former President Trump's false claims of election fraud. During the January 6th attack at the Capitol, dozens of rioters were carrying similarly inverted flags. So in a statement to the Times, Alito said this: "I had no involvement whatsoever in the flying of the flag. It was briefly placed by Mrs. Alito in response to a neighbor's use of objectionable and personally insulting language on yard signs." The Times report is raising concerns about Alito's impartiality as the Supreme Court considers two major cases related to the January 6th attack.
Hey, my friends, J.R. Duke's back with you. I want to extend a warm welcome to all my free-minded friends out there. I have another great story for you today. It's getting a lot of buzz all over the media, and we are going to talk about it today. Specifically, the New York Times has apparently come forward with a story that's a little bit old at this point. It's back from the January 6th nonsense that was going on in 2020, and basically it shows a flag flying upside down at sitting Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito's home. Now, of course, the women on The View, they are going crazy over this story, and they are not happy about it. I'm going to show you the clip and show you what they said. Now, I have to tell you, I might have to substitute a picture for part of what I'm going to show you because of YouTube's algorithm. They're very, very strict when it comes to The View. I'm not sure why, but that's the way it is. Still yet, let's take a look. Let's take a listen to exactly what the ladies on The View had to say.
The Supreme Court, very iffy these days. It's getting ready to deal with cases involving presidential immunity and obstruction charges against Trump, okay? The January 6th insurrectionists also. They're ready to deal with all those cases. But a photo has just emerged from days after the Capitol riot on January 6th showing an upside-down American flag.
Okay, so what you're looking at here is an upside-down American flag right in the middle of your screen. The home that it's in front of is the sitting Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito. I just want to make sure you got some perspective on exactly what's going on here.
Flying outside, wait for it, Justice Alito's house. Now, in case you don't know, this is something that the MAGA people have adopted as a stop the steal symbol. In other words, when you see that flag upside down, that means stop the steal, which they imagine happened, even though Joe Biden did win legitimately. We all know it. Everybody who's not crazy knows it.
Yeah, she wants to tell you that if you don't believe what they believe, you're crazy. So the women on The View, we know how it is, right, ladies?
It was proven over and over and over again. And yet Justice Alito has this upside down flag. All right. Now, he claims his wife did it. Thank you, Senator Menendez.
That's actually pretty funny. She says, thank you, Senator Menendez, because, of course, he is on trial and his wife is going to go on trial very soon for allegedly collaborating with the Egyptians and selling information. Essentially, it's some kind of bribery or some kind of case. And, of course, he's a Democrat out of the state of New Jersey, and he's blaming his wife. And that's kind of what they're laughing about here because published reports have it. Samuel Alito has given an interview, I believe it's to Fox News. And on Fox News, he stated that essentially, and that this is what they're not reporting in the mainstream press, so make sure you understand this. They, or I should say he, is saying that what happened is they have a long-standing feud with their neighbor. So you can imagine it's great around their house. I'm sure you've had a neighbor that you just didn't get along with. And of course, Samuel Alito is having the same situation right now. And according to the Justice Alito, he is stating that this particular neighbor on one particular occasion was out front. They had a little bit of a verbal altercation, if you will, and the neighbor called his wife the C word. So you could imagine that didn't go over real well. I'm kind of surprised that they did not end up in a fight because I know I would be pretty upset if that was aimed at the direction of the lady in my life. Apparently, it did not go to an altercation of any type of situation like that. However, his wife, in response to that type of vulgarity being thrown her way, she went ahead and flew the flag upside down in an attempt to strike back at the neighbor. So I just want to make sure you got a little bit of context on what's going on here.
Another one, during a dispute with neighbors, he said she did it because she was disputing with neighbors about their anti-Trump signs on their lawn. Even that Even that annoys me.
Yeah.
That the wife is worried about anti-Trump signs.
It's not just the anti-Trump signs. Like we said, she, according to Samuel Alito, was called the C word. And I'm sure you'd agree that will make most people very upset.
Her neighbor. Do you believe his answer to the thing that his wife did and has nothing to do with
I do believe it.
Stop the Steal?
How about Clarence Thomas and Ginny Thomas? Ginny Thomas sent a bus to the January 6th insurrection, and Clarence Thomas is sitting on that court listening to insurrection cases. He's listening to election fraud cases. It's ridiculous. You know, what upsets me so much about it as an attorney is that the Supreme Court has always been sort of the bastion of the law, right?
Yeah, what they don't tell you, folks, as usual, they don't tell you, is I want to make sure you understand clearly their position. They're just outraged because Samuel Alito is sitting on the court and refuses to recuse himself from any type of cases involving the January 6th so-called insurrectionists, and that is clearly debatable. And he will not recuse himself for any type of case relating to Donald Trump, and these ladies are upset about that. But isn't it funny? This is where it gets really crazy. They have this self-righteousness that it just reeks of a double standard, because Donald Trump is on trial in New York City as of this exact moment. His trial is being headed by Judge Merchan. And of course, Judge Merchan is a Democrat, and his daughter has raised in excess of $93 million for Democratic candidates. Her customer list includes, but not limited to, the current president, Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and of course, Adam Schiff of California. And we know what President Trump calls Adam Schiff. I'm sure you understand where I'm going with that. Imagine that they are so outraged about this particular fact as they see it, yet when it comes to Donald Trump and the fact that the judge is a Democrat, has donated to President Biden, and his daughter she just doesn't work for the Democrats. She is a big-time Democratic political operative. What a terrible double standard.
Right? It's where we look to for guidance. And now 60% of Americans disapprove of the Supreme Court. Never.
They always throw these statistics up. I've never heard that statistic. They disapprove of the Supreme Court, 60% of Americans. And you never know when they throw figures like that. What was the question that was asked? In other words, could they have been asked in this poll, if this poll even exists or is even accurate, could they have asked them a question? Do you think we could do better? Do you think they do things the way they should do things as far as the Supreme Court goes? You just never know. These people love to lie, or at least misconstrue the facts, or just outright tell you half-truths. And in my book, that's a lie.
Never has the Supreme Court been so, and they do, right? I mean, 60%. It hurts me to my core.
Oh, I can just feel the outrage she's having. I mean, can't you feel it? These people don't care. These people only want their way. Think again about Fani Willis of Georgia, Fulton County fame. Well, she ran on a platform that she was going to go ahead and she was going to get Trump. She has been basically stealing the taxpayers' money from the state of Georgia and federal COVID funds, according to published reports. And you don't see her complaining about that. Does she step aside for the good of the case? Does she step aside because she is at least conflicted, if not an outright criminal? No, she doesn't do anything of the sort. You don't see these people on The View getting upset because there is clearly a double standard. They only don't like it when it involves their side.
Justice Sotomayor has said it over and over and over again, but she said this. She said, will this institution this is after the Mississippi abortion case, will this institution survive the stench that this creates in the public perception that the Constitution and its reading are just political acts? I don't see how it is possible.
These people and their righteousness is just obscene, and it's just painful to listen to. Unfortunately, it frankly makes me laugh, the double standards that's going on here. If you don't agree with these people, you're crazy, you're a loon. If they don't get their way, they're going to bash you every single chance they get. It is just absolutely maddening, the nonsense these people try to shove down American throats each and every day. What a complete outrage.
If you have a Supreme Court justice, even if his wife did it, for days and days and days,
right,
having that sign there, that is a political expression that has no place.
Well, I think it's incredibly sad how...
So what they want you to believe is that when it comes to Democrats, or these woke Democrats, they can go ahead and have all the political expression and freedom they want, just like Judge Merchant and Judge Merchant's daughter and Fannie Willis and all the people associated with Fulton County DA's office. They can do whatever they want. They can say whatever they want. They can go to church and they can blaspheme and they can say whatever they want to say. But when it comes to a Republican or a Republican U.S. Supreme Court justice, they can't say nothing. They can't do nothing. Oh, and God forbid their wife. No way. They cannot say nothing. They cannot defend themselves. They are always under a gag order of sorts imposed by the liberal woke Democrats.
How dysfunctional. We've just seen the dysfunction in Congress and now the dysfunction in the Supreme
Right.
Court. So Americans have to be watching this and just having this crisis, existentialist crisis of faith in our most important institutions. And look, I think John Roberts has lost control of this court, right? You've got...
The fact is, the Supreme Court has always been political. It's political by design. There's no way to take the politics out of politics. We try to take the politics out of it as far as the U.S. Supreme Court goes by having lifetime appointed judges, individuals able to make decisions without having to worry about losing their jobs per se. However, make no mistake about it, every president appoints individuals that generally have a Republican type of thinking or a Democratic type of thinking. It's just the way it is. So their seemingly hostile whatever or their inability to understand this is just fake. They know how it is, and it's always been this way.
Maybe he agrees with them.
Well, I don't know if he does or not, but he's got a duty to the American people as Chief Justice to make sure that this Supreme Court is at a certain level of decorum.
So there you have it, folks. You always have these woke Democrats, these ladies on The View. They're a bunch of nuts all put together. I'm surprised they even have a talk show, much less that people even tune in to hear the nonsense that often comes out of their mouth. They are so bigoted. They are so one-sided. They are so woke. It is absolutely insane. But I don't want to digress. We know how they are. When they do something as stupid like this, I have to call it out. I have to say this is what it is. It's nonsense. It's BS. And I want everyone to see it for what it is. I appreciate you joining me today to hear what I have to say. Folks, if you're still with me, you might as well go ahead, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, go ahead and share this video with some of your indoctrinated friends, family members, whoever, because folks, we have to find a way to stop indoctrination and spread the truth. At least give everybody the ability to make up their own mind. I always say, keep that mind free, never give up. And until next time, my friends, I am J.R. Dukes.